Hey, welcome to the Summit Team Building video blog. Today we're going to be talking about the circles of influence and the circles of concern created by Stephen Covey. My name is Scott Kress, president of Summit Team Building. I've been working in the field of leadership and team development for over 20 years now, teaching at various different universities and executive MBA programs. Also an international speaker and a mountain guide and polar guide, taking people on adventures around the world. I'm going to spend a little bit of time this morning talking to you about the circles of influence. So what are we going to talk about today? What is it? Just what is the circle of influence? I think this is a very powerful model for today's environment, especially with people in lockdown and working in remote environments and all kinds of things that are beyond your control right now. So how does this influence our performance? How do you grow your circle of influence? How do you use it to focus your energy? I'm going to talk about all those things in this short video blog. So exactly what is the circle of influence and the circle of concern? Now, the circle of concern are all those things that impact your world, but you can't do anything about it. This is the weather. This is a worldwide pandemic. This is government regulations. This is your competition. All these things impact our lives and our businesses every day, but we can't do anything about it. The circle of influence is where you have influence, where you have power. It begins with yourself. Who are you going to be? Are you going to focus on the positive? Are you going to focus on the negative? Who are you going to be as a team member, as an individual, as a leader? And the philosophy goes that if you focus on your circle of influence, you will get much more accomplished. It'll be less stressful for you, and you'll just feel more satisfied with life and what you do. I'm going to explain the circle of influence and circle of concern through a quick story based on my expedition to climb Mount Everest. Now, on Everest, there's all kinds of things that are impacting your life every day: weather, other groups' decisions, mountain conditions, government regulations, all kinds of different things. And when you look around base camp, there's various different teams. Some teams are existing in the circle of concern, some are living in the circle of influence. So those teams that were living in a circle of concern, very interesting. These people were starting to get sick. We've all heard the research studies. As your stress levels go up, your immune capacity goes down, you become more susceptible to illness. We could see this happening right before our eyes. And when I look at success rates, the people that were living in the circle of concern, worrying, stressing, arguing, fighting over things, they only had a very small success rate, about 9%. Climbing Everest is very much a physical task. You have to be physically fit to climb Mount Everest. That's just your entry ticket to the door. Once you get there, it's all up here. It's all mental and emotional that is going to drive your level of success on the mountain. Those of us who are living in the circle of influence, we're healthy by comparison. We're eating the same food, living in the same environment, breathing the same air. They're sick, we're not. So what's the difference here? The difference is stress. And this is in most cases self-imposed. We often think about stress as being an external factor imposed upon us, but it's not. That's just an event. It's how we choose to respond to that event that creates success, that creates stress or not. And when I look at success rates, those teams living in the circle of influence had about an 80% success rate. So living in the circle of influence doesn't guarantee success, but it gives you a much greater opportunity for success because you're putting your energy into the place that actually makes a difference. So as an example, this is a picture taken close to the top of Mount Everest, about an hour from the summit of Mount Everest here. And this is a pretty scary spot right here. You're extremely tired. And when you look down one side, you've got about a 6,000 foot drop, and down the other side, about an 8,000 foot drop. Many people will stop right here, turn around, and go down because it's overwhelming for them. In all of our lives, every now and then, there are things that happen that our stress levels go through the roof, our pressure levels go through the roof, and you have to have these emotional reserves to handle these difficult times. Those people who are living in the circle of concern and had used all of those emotional mental resources in that circle of concern were bankrupt. They didn't have any resources left to spend here. Those of us living in the circle of influence, we're good to go. We make it through this point and allows us or helps us to get to the top of Mount Everest. So from my experience on Mount Everest, living in the circle of influence had a very direct impact on my success and the success of my team. So how do you grow your circle of influence? You grow it by focusing on it. You try not to worry about the things in your circle of concern, and you focus on the circle of influence, even if it's only very small at this time. When you focus on the circle of influence in a business environment, you tend to get recognized for that. You're doing a great job. You're a positive team player. You're a great leader, whatever it happens to be, and you tend to get additional responsibilities. So something that was in your circle, that was in your circle of concern yesterday, now becomes in your circle of influence because your circle of influence has grown. So how do you apply this in our day-to-day lives? What you want to do is think about what lies in your circle of concern and you need to let go of these things. I know it's easier said than done, but you want to forget about the things in your, or let them go, the things in your circle of concern, and focus on the things that are in your circle of influence, because that's where you can make a difference. That's where you get things done. That's where you get that sense of satisfaction. So you want to let go of the circle of concern, focus on the circle of influence. At Summit Team Building, this is what we do. We have training workshops, team building, and keynote speaking, focusing on helping individuals and teams to achieve high performance. We have created a lot of virtual programs during this time of remote work, both in the training sector, high performance teamwork, Myers-Briggs emotional intelligence, and also on the fun team building side, getting together, having some fun with your team. If you want to know more about what we do, you can just check out all the information on our website, summitteambuilding.com. So thanks for tuning in to our video blog and have a great productive day.